What's up, guys? I just got back from seeing Oblivion. I figured one thing I could do on this channel is every time I go see a new movie, or, I don't know, even if I get the hunch to do it, when I watch a movie that's old, I could do reviews for them. Maybe you guys are interested on my thoughts and the guys' thoughts on different films, and this is probably a good place to discuss some of those things. But today I'm going to do a review on Oblivion. So, just to warn you right off the bat, later in the video, like towards the end of the video, I'm going to compare the film to other films that it's derivative of, that it's similar to. So that may be kind of a spoiler, so I will warn you again before the end of the video. I will say, now I'm going to compare this to the other films I feel that it's derivative of. And when that happens, I will give you ample time to click away so that you don't have any spoilers. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. Okay, so Oblivion is visually freaking amazing. The art style is really, really good. And, you know, the CG, the effects are all freaking spectacular. This film was directed by the same guy who directed Tron Legacy, so if you saw that, you know, my feelings about that movie are that it's visually stunning, but it's kind of empty. Doesn't have tons of substance in its story. It's a little silly. And I feel similar about this movie, but not as much. I do feel like there's a lot more substance than Tron Legacy had. But it doesn't. It starts out a little slow, and the exposition, I feel, in the first 15 minutes or so, it doesn't go very smoothly. There's kind of there's a voiceover by Tom Cruise kind of explaining the background and setting the events of the film up to where we are now, and I feel like that was kind of long-winded, not necessary, and a little bit forced, because he ends up saying all of the same things in a span of about 15 seconds later in the film. Somewhere around like the, I don't know, like quarter mark of the way through the film. There's another character he comes in contact with. He explains to her all the same stuff. About 15 seconds, gets all the important information across, and I felt like, okay, all that information is there, and it's explained well enough, perfectly, you know, perfectly good explanation of all that stuff that we already heard in a more long-winded version for 5 to 10 minutes at the beginning of the film. So the beginning is a little bit slow because of that. There's also a love scene at the beginning of the film that I didn't think was necessary. Not that I have anything against love scenes. They have their place when it's appropriate, but in this particular movie, it felt really long, and it didn't tell us anything. It didn't take the story anywhere. It didn't build any more symmetry between the characters that were involved, I think. So I don't know. I kind of felt like all that would have been necessary is to have her look at him seductively. You know, he gets the message. You do a crossfade to the bed the next morning. You get the message. You know, they didn't need to draw that out any longer. There is a little. It's like a wide angle of the backside of one of the characters. A little nudity, but nothing like, I don't know. You don't see any genitals or anything like that. So not too big of a deal. If you're sensitive to that, though, you should probably know about that. So after that, though, right after that point of the film, it really picks up, and it gets really, really awesome. I think that the pacing from that point on is really good. The action is spectacular. The cinematography is amazing, and the performances, especially by Tom Cruise, are excellent. I think they're really, really great. And so, from that, after that first 15 minutes, all the way through most of the second act and into most of the third act, love the film. It's great. Won't provide any spoilers for you. It's totally great stuff, though. lots of fun to watch. It's smart. It's, you know, it's fast. And then you get into kind of the end part of the film, and that's where it's a little goofy. Not, I don't want to say silly, because it doesn't feel silly. It's just you kind of scratch your head a bit, like, wait a minute, like, what? Not that it doesn't make sense, but just the way that the characters go about carrying out their objective and their goal. I don't think it would have worked. I don't personally look at that plan and think I feel like that should have had no chance of success. You know, you kind of have to just like go with it a little bit. But it wasn't that bad. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a perfect resolution, let's just say that. It wasn't perfectly satisfying, but it was okay. So yeah, the one thing that bothered me though, and this is where I'm going to put my spoiler warning. The film is very derivative of other sci-fis, and I'm going to mention those, and I'm not going to go into details, but it might be a bit of a spoiler. So if you don't want it spoiled, click away now. This is your last chance. Spoiler warning. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So it's very derivative of two movies in particular. Those movies are The Matrix, which I think a lot of people could see even from the trailers, but also Moon. I don't know if you've seen the film Moon. It's awesome. If you haven't seen it, freaking go see it, however you have to see it. It's a great movie. But it's like a combination. Oblivion is like a combination of Moon and The Matrix together. So I was a little disappointed at how similar it was. Kind of unabashedly similar. Like, not even just like, oh, it took inspiration from it, but like, it's like the same concept. So that I felt was a little bit weak. Overall, though, I did enjoy the movie a lot. I think it was a lot of fun to watch. I think it's worth going to see. I think it's worth paying for. So I guess I would give the movie overall something like, I just saw it, so I haven't had really a lot of opportunity to think about it, but I'd probably give it 3.5 out of 5. 3.5 stars out of 5 is what I would say. So I think it's a great action movie, a great sci-fi, visually stunning, a lot of fun to watch. But just be prepared that it's similar to some other movies that you have seen before, most likely. And so you're not going to be surprised at the twists that they pull out. However, it's still fun. Still fun to watch. Still worth going to see. So I recommend it. Thanks for watching. Peace.